Welcome to our Hawk Seale video. Today we want to demonstrate how Hawk Seale, the one-time pavement sealer, can be used on millings to create what we call poor man's blacktop. On our table here we have a box that we put millings in, and we've treated it with Hawk Seale, and we've allowed it to cure 7 days, which is the curing time. Hawk Seale will actually dry within 45 minutes to an hour after each application, so when you apply it on pavement or whatever, it's minimum just disruption of the traffic. So on our table we've got some water that we'll use for our moisture penetration test. We've got some Hawk Seale that we mixed up in the 1:10 ratio, and we've applied it to our test box at a rate of about 8/10 of a gallon. We recommend typically 7/10 of a gallon on millings, and it can take more depending on your millings, if they're dry and poor and so forth. And the secret is compaction. You want to compact your millings as tightly as possible, and as you apply it you want to pack in between applications. But as you can see, the cold palmers are sticking to our stir stick here. Our consistency of our product is kind of a dirty chocolate milk. You can see as it dries, the cold palmers and so forth dry and become sticky. And finally we have our millings, and these millings are extremely dry. They've been in this bucket for about a year. We've taken quite a bit out here for some tests, but I'm going to pour it in here, and hopefully you can see how dry they are. There's just nothing to them. The ones on top are drier. This on the bottom had a little bit more moisture. But you can see these are dry as a bone. So I'm going to put these in here. I use my tamping stick, and as you can see, we've had the Hawk Seale sticking to the bottom of the stick as we tamped over here earlier. And what we did is we did two comparisons. This box we did in lifts. We put in about 1.5 inches of millings, and then we came back and sealed that, and then we added more, and then we sealed that. This side we just did all tamped it in, sprayed it, tamped it, sprayed it, tamped it. So this would be like if you already have your millings down already. So either application seems to work adequately. I'm going to throw a little bit more of this in here, kind of like Rachel Ray does with her recipes, you know. And so we'll tamp this. Just tamp this. But you can see the dried millings are not going to tamp like you'd like them to. And that's typically the problem. People put this on and then they get heavy rains and it washes away. Even using our blacksmith hammer here. Thump, thump. It's just too dry. It's not going to adhere. Over here, of course, we did ours, and you can see that she's solid. I started out to save a little time and started taking the screws out of our boxes. Now these samples have been in these boxes about 7 days. Today's the 7th day. Typically Hawk Seale needs about 7 days to totally cure, even though you can drive on it immediately. Within 45 minutes to an hour it's going to be dry. But basically the test becomes this. As you can tell, our surface is good, it's solid, but here's the test. If you know anything about asphalt, water is the killer. Asphalt has no tension by itself. That's why it develops ruts, that's why it develops potholes and so forth. It is entirely dependent on the base underneath being a good, solid base. And what happens to asphalt is the water penetrates through the cracks in the asphalt, steams out, taking the goodies or the lights out of the asphalt, which causes it to dry out more, which takes in more water, which steams out more stuff, which cracks more, dries out more, gets brittle, and starts breaking up. And it starts to fail. You start getting your bigger cracks, you start getting your potholes and your alligatoring. The secret to a long life asphalt is to prevent the water from getting down through to your base. That includes good drainage and ditching, by the way. Some of our very first streets that we treated with Hawk Seale was done 18 years ago. Those streets were 5 years old, so they're 18 and 5 was what, 23 years, and there's not a crack in that street. The opposite end of that street looks like a normal cracked up alligator pothole mess. So without any more talk about that, we're going to see if we got any water retention. Now if this works like it's supposed to, we should see the water puddle and set on top. See? It's not going down. So the penetration of the water is stopped. It can run off to the side and so forth and drip out of our box. On the other side, as you know, I mean, we were tamping this. I mean, they're just, I mean, it's kind of like pounding sand down a rat hole here. As you can see, there's no compaction. Now, there's better asphalts than this, but this is what we used over here. And of course, when I pour the water in here, it's kind of going to sit here in the box for a second. And down it goes. And where's it going to go? It's going to go to my base. And you can see the water coming out of my base here, leaking out. See it dripping here. So this is the difference between the treated asphalt with Hawk Seale and the untreated. I took some screws out so I can quickly disassemble our box. The little end view and side view here, because I thought some of you would like to maybe see that. Okay, and that's what it looks like on the end. So we've got a pretty decent layer of asphalt. Now this is old. I can't tell you how poor quality this stuff is. I mean, the engineer looked at this when I told him I was going to use it. He said, "Man, I wouldn't use that." He says, "That is old and dried up." I said, "Well, good. That's the acid test." So now we'll take this third screw. Notice we still have water on top. I didn't put as much over there, but I do believe sealing it in lifts is more than adequate. And well, I guess maybe I didn't take that bottom screw out, and that would be hard to do here holding the camera with one hand and so forth, but I'll kind of pull this around and show you this. We did put a little seal here. That's that white stuff, you know, because I wanted to see if we could hold the water, you know, any moisture. But as you can see, Hawk Seale is made of pretty darn good product. So if you're looking for a way to get a hard surfaced driveway or parking lot, Hawk Seale is a viable option. You can get millings cheap. The key is packing it. I would really suggest putting it on in lifts. You know, put on 1 1/3 inch, 1.5 inches, and then spray it with Hawk Seale. Put down another one and compact it. Wait about 20 minutes to 30 minutes or even 45. Allow that acid in the Hawk Seale to soften that asphalt so that it starts to stick together. Then put your next layer on and so forth. Then when you get done, compact the living tar out of it, so to speak. So that's what we did here, and that's the secret. So with that, please call us and let us give you a quote on your project. You can go to our website at hawkseale.com hawkseale.com or email sales@hawkseale.com. We'll be happy to give you a quote, happy to talk to you, happy to tell you how to build a sprayer, applicator. Normal ag sprayers and stuff like that doesn't work, so you do kind of have to have the right equipment. And of course we do apply. So with that, this is Kermit and I'm out, and I hope you've enjoyed our little demonstration. And once again, you know, it's just a very simple product. Oh, by the way, it doesn't kill butterflies, birds, insects, lawns. It's non-toxic. So for the environmentalists that are concerned, this is much better. And by the way, if you understood how much carcinogens was in asphalt, that is your